I want to cut across right now to our political panelists this evening. Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson BJP, Charan Singh Sapra, National Spokesperson Congress, both of them joining us. And Sanju ji, I'll begin with you first. Prime Minister's 5 rallies, 5 visits even before the election dates are announced in the state of Maharashtra. Elections are in the next 10 days in the state of Haryana, and we've seen the Prime Minister go there only once. What has Haryana done? Doesn't it deserve more visits from the Prime Minister, Sanju Verma? Or have you given up your cause in the state?
You know, Preeti, I'm amused at conspiracy theories being propounded. As they always say, you know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And I've said this ad nauseum, that the kind of work done in the last 10 years by the BJP-led government in Haryana, I think the results on the 8th of October will vindicate our stand. But my limited point is this: I will not allow anyone to digress from the moot issue. If the Prime Minister is visiting Maharashtra, where the stakes are obviously very high, and if anyone denies that, that is simply trying to hoodwink your audience and the electorate, why should we not talk about Maharashtra? Because don't forget, you know, while it's all fine to say, oh, the BJP is engaging in freebies by giving 1,500 rupees a month, you know, via the Maji Ladki Bahin Yojana, and need I say that 1.7 crore women in Maharashtra have already benefited to that extent due to the Ladki Bahin Yojana, but that is not the point of discussion. My limited point is simply this: as JP Nadda always says, BJP is the only party which has the niti, which has the niyat, and which has the ability to translate vision into reality. And let me tell your audience that it was way back in 1961 that Pandit Nehru envisioned the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link. And guess what, Preeti? It took us 62 years. Finally, in 2023, the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link actually became a pleasant reality. So my limited point is this: be it the Pune-Kolhapur Vande Bharat Express, be it the Nagpur Metro, be it the 3rd phase of the Mumbai Metro, be it completing the Kolaba-Bandra underground rail line, be it laying the foundation stone of the Thane internal ring road rail project, be it the Thane Creek Bridge project, be it the Andheri-Versova link road project, be it extending the Eastern Highway Express all the way to Ghorbandar Road, be it the Kalyan Yard remodeling, be it the Gati Shakti multimodal cargo terminal project at Navi Mumbai, or for that matter, be it the Navi Mumbai Airport, which was actually inaugurated by Rajiv Gandhi way back in 1988, and now after 37 years it will come to fruition in 2025. My limited point is this: Maharashtra is today the beacon of all that is excellent with India's economic heft and India's economic growth story, with Mumbai alone accounting for 7% of our GDP and Maharashtra accounting for more than 9 to 10% of our GDP.
Sanju Verma, you know, when you say that is very, very important, Maharashtra election, nobody is denying it's very, very important.
What is the big deal?
Okay.
Why should people be having problems with that, Preeti?
But no, Sanju Verma, nobody is having problems with that. Maharashtra is very, very important, but what has poor Haryana done? You've named the GDP. Haryana would say we bring in more medals in Olympics than the entire Indian states put together. You know, why completely disregard Haryana's role? It might be small. The state might just have 90 seats, but state is a state, ma'am, as important.
Preeti, I have done with you in the last 1 month more debates on Haryana than on Maharashtra, on Jammu Kashmir, you know, or on Jharkhand.
Ma'am, Haryana, the time will come. Maharashtra की तो dates भी नहीं announce हुई है.
Let me finish ना.
Right.
मुझे खत्म करने दो अपनी बात.
Ma'am, please finish.
My simple logic is this: by Preeti Chaudhary's own logic, she has done so many debates on Haryana. By that logic, why is she not focusing on Maharashtra? Why is she not focusing on?
Ma'am, she's not focusing on Maharashtra because I don't know what the dates of Maharashtra are. If the day I know the dates of Maharashtra, I'll have you every day on the show and we'll debate Maharashtra.
अरे ये तो पता है ना that elections will be held before November, December because the term of the assembly
in 10 days there are elections in Haryana. But anyway, I want to bring in Charan Singh Sapra. I want to bring in Charan Singh Sapra into this conversation. Charan Singh Sapra, to bring you in here, you know, at one end, it does seem that the Congress is looking to consolidate in the state of Haryana. On ground, seemingly in a better position than what it was in 2019, if not in pole position. But having said that, the Bharatiya Janata Party has clearly decided it's going to go all in. Maharashtra is the big prize. Haryana, they could now relegate to the sidelines. But it's all in for the state of Maharashtra. They're doing what it takes. Even before the dates of elections are announced, the Prime Minister is visiting the state 5 times.
Preeti, Bharatiya Janata Party, they have already agreed and they have conceded the defeat in Haryana. That's why you are trying to judge that BJP is not paying much attention to Haryana and they are paying more attention towards Maharashtra because they are expecting that Maharashtra might give them results. But it is not so. Whatever the BJP spokesperson, the number of projects which she has now counted on your show, these projects were there during the Lok Sabha elections also. Then why they won only 9 seats out of the 23 they won in 2019, and this Mahayuti could win only 17 seats out of 48 seats. So this is the fact that people of Maharashtra are not going to support the Mahayuti. The major issues over here are misgovernance and the corruption. Corruption has reached to the peak. There are issues, agrarian crisis, there are financial crisis, there is a social justice issue over here, reservation issue is here, Maratha reservation and the Dhangar reservation. There are so many issues on the ground which BJP is not able to judge. Merely rhetoric cannot win them votes. Let me give you some figures. There is a alarming rise in debt burden of the state from 2.9 lakh crore in 2014 to 8 lakh crore in 2023. The interest burden has increased from 23,965 crore to 56,727 crore. The rate of economic growth has reduced from 9.4% to 7.6%, and the state economy has collapsed. More than 17 projects have been shifted from Mumbai and Maharashtra to Gujarat. Recently, there was a report in newspaper that a solar energy project worth 18,000 crores has been shifted recently to Gujarat. So there is a loss of more than 4 lakh crores to the Maharashtra, and there is a loss of jobs, around 2 lakh jobs for the people of Maharashtra. How are the people of Maharashtra going to vote for BJP? That is what we have seen in the Lok Sabha election. That is how the Mahavikas Aghadi could win 31 seats out of 48 seats. And even in this election, the state assembly election, we are going to get a full majority, and BJP and its partners are already in shambles. They are fighting among each other. Black flags were shown to Ajit Pawar in Pune.
All right, black flags was shown to Ajit Pawar in Pune, but Ajit Pawar himself has said that galti ho gayi, should have not done what he did to the family. But Sanju Verma, to bring you back on this, let's debate Maharashtra only, Sanju Verma. You have Charan Singh Sapra there. No, I'll come back to the other question, but taking off from what Charan Singh Sapra said, Sanju Verma, the markers that you elucidated, and that was my rebuttal as well, were there during Lok Sabha. It was your worst performance during Lok Sabha. What happened during Lok Sabha? And how is it going to change during the state elections? Or you hope that the Ladli Bahin scheme then delivers for you?
Preeti, let me please have my say. If I have to take the Congress spokesperson's logic, let me ask him one thing. You say that, conviction for crime against women has fallen off the cliff in Maharashtra. You say that the Ladli Bahin Yojana is going to be a disaster. It's going to add to the debt burden. This is the same rag that you were, singing. This is the same song that you were singing all through the Lok Sabha 2024 elections. My simple point is, if everything was wrong with the Modi government, Modi 1.0, Modi 2.0, you claimed we did nothing for women, you claimed we did nothing for farmers, you claimed we did nothing for the youth of the country, you claimed that the economy has fallen off the cliff. Yadi humne sab kuch bhi sahi nahi kiya. My simple logic is, why is it that for the third time in a row, I can turn around and ask, Rahul Gandhi's Congress party was reduced to less than 100 seats. If Modinomics failed, if Prime Minister's vision of a Viksit Bharat did not resonate with the Janta on the ground, by that logic, Rahul Gandhi and the Dot Dot Alliance should have actually performed far better than what they were. Reduced to merely 98 or 99 seats, and you're sitting here and giving bhashan to the BJP. But I will come to the moot point. The moot point is simply this. Maharashtra has a 25% Dalit plus tribal population, and B.R. Ambedkar, the biggest Dalit icon. Can you imagine? It is in 2026 that the 350 feet tall Baba Saheb Ambedkar Memorial will become a reality. The Congress could not even get 1 acre of land. We have taken thousands of acres of land at Kshetra Bhumi in Dadar to ensure that the father of the Indian Constitution gets his due. Maharashtra has about a 10% tribal population. Who's the biggest beneficiary of the Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Yojana? Dalits and tribals. Who's the biggest beneficiary of Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Vikas Mission? It is Dalits and tribals of Maharashtra. Who's the biggest beneficiary of the fact that 75 tribal groups have been declared particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs? It is the Dalits and tribals of Maharashtra. So don't sit here and lecture us. By the way, I want to tell you, who's going to be benefiting from the AIIMS at Rewari? Who's going to be benefiting from the...
All right, but Sanju Verma, okay, fine. Sanju Verma, I want to bring in Charan Singh Sapra. No, you talk about 99 and you're right. You're under 100 where the Congress is concerned. But having said that, let's talk about Maharashtra then, because the Congress from just 1 in 2019 rose all the way to 13 in 2024. And you, which were 23 in 2019, fell to 9 in 2024.
Should I be clapping for them that Rahul Gandhi has increased his tally to 99
So therefore,
seats?
no. Sanju Verma, therefore one would think, Sanju Verma, therefore one would think momentum is with them. Wouldn't you agree? If there's been such a sharp increase and such a sharp fall in the number of seats between the both of you.
Preeti, I just want to ask you one question. Yes, we were reduced to a lower tally than we anticipated. I've said this without shoving uncomfortable truths under the carpet. We had a slogan of 400 par. We were reduced to 240. Is that something to gloat about? No. Are we doing introspection? That's a continuous process. Yes. But the Congress party, which said Modi ko teesri baar aane nahi denge, for the first time in 62 years, the incumbent became the prime minister for the third time running. No. And the Congress party has been reduced to a defeat.
Sanju, let me bring in Charan Singh Sapra. No, ma'am, your overall tally, I'm not contesting. I'm not contesting your overall tally with what you're giving. I'm just giving you the micro picture of the state of Maharashtra. And I'm talking about the rise and fall in that. Where the Congress and the BJP is concerned, I'm not even looking at the alliances. Charan Singh Sapra wants to come in. I'm running out of time. Charan Singh Sapra, go ahead.
See, BJP and the BJP spokesperson is not ready to discuss Maharashtra because they have failed miserably in the Lok Sabha election and they are going to fail miserably again. They are not talking on the real issues of Maharashtra. People have seen the kind of corruption under this Khokhe Sarkar. People have been seeing the kind of corruption in the Shivaji Maharaj statue also. And the memorial which she is talking about, Baba Saheb Ambedkar's memorial, that memorial work was already going on when the Lok Sabha elections were there. Why the Dalits have not given vote to BJP? See, there are different issues. The Dalits are today hearing that Bharatiya Janata
Allow him
Party...
to talk. You had your... Allow him. Can I just get Charan Singh Sapra? Sanju Verma, I'll come back to you. You've been speaking. Yes, go ahead, Charan Singh Sapra.
See, the Dalits in Maharashtra know that these people are not sincere with the reservation. They are going to remove the reservation. They are not sincere with the caste census. They don't want to do that Jatigat Janagणना. These are the things which the Dalit voters are knowing. And what about if they are talking about female? Why BJP is not talking on the Badlapur molestation? Why BJP is not ready to ratify the...
Ma'am, I'll come to you. Allow him. You spoke.
Which has gone to the President of India. Why Shakti criminal law has not been ratified or not been signed by the President of India? If you are so sincere about the female security, then it should have been done immediately. It went to the President of India 2 years ago. So BJP's non-sincerity has been seen on each and every ground. They have failed financially. They have failed in agrarian crisis. They are not able to do anything. This is just Khokhe Sarkar, and Khokhe Sarkar is only there to, satta ki malai khane ke liye ye log kehte hain. This is what people of Maharashtra...
Sanju Verma, at least, do you admit on one basic question that the elections, all 4 of them, and the results are crucial by the end of the year? 4 elections: Jammu, Kashmir, Haryana, Maharashtra, Jharkhand.
Preeti, now let me have my say. Charan Sapra sits here and says, iska debt बढ़ गया, uska debt बढ़ गया. I want to tell the Congress this. The people of Karnataka gave you a brilliant mandate. You pushed Karnataka into the throes of bankruptcy.
Sir, allow her. Come on, sir. Same courtesy. Can I get Sanju Verma? Go ahead, make your point.
Thank you. The people of Karnataka gave Congress a brilliant mandate, a brute majority. What happened? They raised electricity tariffs after saying 200 units of electricity free. They could not give 10 kgs of rice to every woman of every household, and then they blamed Food Corporation of India. They raised petrol and diesel prices in Karnataka by 3 rupees per litre. They raised milk prices by 2 rupees per litre. They raised stamp duty for affordable housing by 200% and non-affordable housing by 500%. They raised the prices of bus fares. They raised the prices for school children, for government-owned schools by 37%. And they raised price tariffs in rural areas by 37% and urban areas by 42%. They have pushed, the Congress has pushed Himachal Pradesh into the throes of bankruptcy.
But that's inherited. A lot of that debt is inherited. Most of that debt is inherited, ma'am. Okay, but
getting salaries on time.
30 seconds, Charan Singh Sapra, please. 20 seconds, sorry. Please answer. I need to close the show. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Ma'am, Khatakhat model dono taraf se ho raha hai. You look at your manifestos in the states of Jammu, Kashmir and Haryana. Look identical. Okay, can I just get 20 seconds? 20 seconds, Charan Singh Sapra, make your point.
The party is not having any valid reason. They are not having any valid things to talk in Maharashtra. That's why she is jumping on Karnataka. The people of Maharashtra know that this is not a triple engine sarkar. This is a trouble engine sarkar.
But okay, no, her point is, Mr. Sapra, her point is you make promises, then you don't deliver on them.
No. She doesn't have anything to speak on Maharashtra. That's why she's going on Karnataka. Let's discuss Karnataka elaborately. You give me time, I'll discuss it.
Okay, no, there's no time.
You have been reduced to less
No, there's no time. I need to hard cut. Thank you. Both of you for joining us. Thank you.